We're waiting at the edge of the water. We're birds with no wings. We're fish with no fins. We're family, robbed of its own sons and daughters. The moon has been stolen from the sky, and only black lies over us. Black cloud, and rain like icy silk. We huddle together, Mariam and me. We have our coats round us when we share a blanket, but round and about us there is nothing but frozen rock. In one life, few moments come so clear. Perhaps it's a glimpse of another life to come. And then, out of nowhere, I hear the music. Notes that float, carrying on a distant wind like a child's lullaby. The song rises above us and passes in the darkness like a secret messenger. Can it be human? Can it be the cry of a soul? I feel you stir, Mariam, in your sleep. I feel the hairs stand up on the back of my neck. My heart lifts, light as mist. It's a violin. A miracle. What is a miracle? My daughter and I are here. We're alive.
Oh, I don't believe this. Fuck. Danny, come down.
What?
I said, come down. Put your bloody hearing aids in.
I can't find them.
Oh, for God's sake, how many times? They're in the drawer. The drawer by your bed.
I don't know how long we've been walking. The bus broke down and we were ordered out. I think we must be near the port. The skies above us are rainy and full of clouds, no stars to guide us. The batteries on our phones have been dead for days.
Laura? Oh, thank God. No, we're fine. Well, your father's been as usual. Listen, we just got a letter, the letter from the government. 2 of them, apparently. That's all it says. 2 refugees will arrive tomorrow at 8 a.m.
Of course you saw it coming. We are not ignorant or ill-informed. But what could we do? Every year we moved further inland as the great tidal plains flooded and rose higher, sweeping away our coastal towns and fragile infrastructure.
I've no idea. Literally no idea. They could be bloody jihadis for all I can. Who is that racist? Bloody typical. Take their side, just like your father. No, he doesn't ken yet. He's up the stairs, ferreting around for his batteries. Danny!
These shoes are too big for me. I've stuffed them with newspaper, but with every step the paper bunches up and my feet slip. The balls of my feet rubbed raw with grit, stabs of pain between my toes. I've never had shoes like this, so stiff and heavy. They must have belonged to a man, or a large and powerful woman. I don't feel large or powerful.
Should I get onto them? The department? Well, what do you think I'm going to say? We're in our 60s, for God's sake. Who the hell am I supposed to deal with? No, I know there's an emergency. I'm no an idiot. But honestly, at our age...
An aid worker at the last camp said the paper would help to keep my feet warm. But as we inch ever closer to the UK, this place called Scotland, I know they'll never be warm again.
I've got Sylvia and Graham coming for the weekend. Where the hell are they supposed to sleep? Know that they'll want to come when they hear about all this. You ken what Graham thinks about this climate change palaver and immigrants. And didn't get me started on the bloody government billeting refugees without a by your leave. Danny!
Every morning I tell myself, it's a new day, and for the sake of my daughter I must be strong. I swear I'll only look forward, never back to what has been lost. That way lies heartbreak and defeat.
No, I'm not panicking. What's that supposed to mean? No, I'm no scared. Oh, forget it. I'll talk to you later. I am not scared. Oh, finally. Read this.
Our first error. At the door we took off our shoes.
Welcome to our home. Well, your home now.
The woman does not smile. There is a strange bitter smell in the air. Malfouf, cabbage. I try not to show what I feel.
Danny.
Thank you.
Well,
So, what are your names?
My daughter is called Mariam, and
Can she no speak for herself?
my name is Ziad Al Mudawi.
Ziad what?
لا شلون غريبة. Ziad Al Mudawi.
Well, that's a bit of a mouthful. What do we call you?
Call me Ziad.
welcome to Scotland.
What do you mean it's no suitable? What's wrong with it? Look, see for yourself. I'm only obliged to provide 2 beds, no 2 separate rooms.
Possibly there has been a mistake. Perhaps you could contact the authorities on our behalf.
It's a lovely room. Laura was happy enough here before she left.
But Mrs. Mackay, Laura is only one person, presumably a family member.
She's our daughter, living in London now.
Surely you can see it's not possible for me to share a bed with my own adult daughter.
But there's a folding bed. I'm not asking you to share the same one.
It's a question of modesty, of propriety.
It's perfectly clean if that's what you're getting at. I've always kept it nice in case Laura wants to come back for a visit. Excuse me.
No wonder the daughter stays away if she treats her like she's treating us.
Mariam, please, you mustn't talk like that. Mrs. Mackay has taken us into her home.
Only because she has to.
Nevertheless, you should remember your manners. We're guests under her roof.
Guests! I think she treats a stray dog better.
I've put the immersion on. I'm sure the both of you will want to take a shower.
That would be great, thank you.
We're fully aware that we smell. We've been travelling for weeks. In the last washroom before we crossed the channel, the lavatories were blocked, the basins...
I don't think Mrs. Mackay needs to hear of our humiliations.
It's amazing how soon you get used to the stink of your own shit.
Mariam, be careful.
You think I should be meek, respectful after all I've been through?
I think we should endeavour to retain our dignity.
I've walked till my feet are shredded, fought grown men to get onto trains, snatched bread from old women, milk from children.
2 beds, that's your lot. You should be grateful.
Mrs. Mackay, you have no idea of the disaster that has overtaken our country. So many countries.
Oh, there's enough bad news here without looking for more. Shortages in the shops, queues everywhere, prices sky high, power cuts, you name it.
Yet we're here. Your government surely informed you.
The government? Didn't you make me laugh? Last month, the river burst its banks. People were killed. And now this terrible wind. Climate change, they say. The government's doing sweet Effie.
But the situation was explained to you. Protocols established.
Proto-wit. Speak English, can't you?
My father is a highly educated man.
My education was very formal, I'm afraid. Protocols, Mrs. Mackay, established ways of getting things done, systems to follow.
Well, there were some adverts on the telly, but nobody bothered much at first. And then we all got a letter from the authorities telling us that anyone with a spare room had to take in refugees, that it would be enforced, fines or even prison.
I see. It's a great imposition on you, no doubt, but what can we do?
I keep getting told that I'm too old to work, to get insurance or to drive. I'm not too old to have 2 strangers dumped on me.
I'm not a young man myself. Many nights I thought I'd go to sleep and never wake.
And every night I've thanked God that one more day was over. And I still carry my baby.
That's another thing. Nobody told us that you were expecting. How am I supposed to deal with 3 of you? Screaming bairns, dirty nappies? How come? I'm no too old for that.
Bring widespread gales to the northern half of the country and disruptive winds in places.
Those first few weeks were hard. Agnes knew she should apologise for the fuss over the bedrooms. The one she digs her heels in. She's her own worst enemy. She backed down in the end, of course. Gave the chap the guest bedroom. We couldn't see any of our pals wanting to visit. Aggie kept going on about the bathroom. How long are they going to be in there? Not to their faces, mind, but I'm sure they knew. I kept thinking about what I'd read. Things people had been through. I felt ashamed. Thinking about what we had and what they'd lost. The house smelt different, eh? No unpleasant or anything. Just different. I quite liked it.
Secretive, aren't they? Do you no think?
Agnes,
I'm just saying.
leave them be. What is it now?
She never mentions her husband. She never even says his name.
Didn't he start making mountains out of molehills?
I tried the other night just to be friendly like, to have a wee chat, but Dad comes in and she clams up.
Maybe she's just a private person.
No.
We're all entitled to our privacy.
It's more than that, and I'm going to get to the bottom of it.
Agnes, for God's sake, can we not just try to get on?
Dibbilsanic, Mariam. How many times have I asked you to think before wounding others?
As if they think before wounding me. I don't care anymore.
Your bitterness only awakens pain for both of us. Now, please apologise to our hosts.
I'm not going to apologise. I just want a home for us to live in. Is that too much to ask?
Then I must do it for you. I don't understand you, Mariam. When your voice catches like a thorn and you begin with anger, there's no end to it. Just bigger and bigger waves.
This is what Mama warned me about. Please, don't try to be a father. Just be a man.
Why these tears?
Maybe they're for you.
Mr. Mackay, I must speak with you. I'm so sorry for what happened.
No need to apologise. If anything, we owe you an apology. I think we're all a bit tense, and I'm sure we didn't mean what we said. Let's forget to put it now, shall we? And please, call me Danny. Is it okay to call you Ziad?
Yes, of course. You and your wife have been very kind, giving us a home.
I don't think we've been kind, to be honest. None of us chose this, and we're all finding it difficult. If you had a choice, you'd be living peacefully back home, and we wouldn't be aware of your existence.
That is true.
But this is where we are, so we must make the best of it.
Yes, and Mariam and I will move out as soon as we find somewhere suitable.
As far as I'm concerned, you can stay here for as long as you like.
And your wife?
She'll come round in time. And you, this must be hard for you. I can't imagine
I try
how...
not to think about it. We have begun a new life, and I hope we can find happiness here.
I'm sure you will.
Tell me, Danny, is there anything I can do for you? I'm used to working and don't wish to be idle.
You're a psychologist, right?
Yes, a clinical psychologist, but I don't think I'll find work in that field here.
You never know. I'm sure there'll be plenty of refugees who need psychological help after what they've been through.
Maybe you're right. But for now, how can I help you?
Well, I need to repair the garden shed. It's fallen to bits. And there's lots of jobs in the garden that need doing. I have back trouble, so I keep putting it off. Agnes thinks it's just an excuse.
I would be happy to help with any of that, but I still must look for work so we can pay for our keep. Is that the right expression?
Aye. But don't worry about that for now. You need to be settled first.
We all need to be settled.
Aye, pal. Never a truer word spoken.
She's up there in the bathroom again. Just as well we've got a downstairs loo.
Leave her, Aggie. She's doing no harm. It's probably just the bear making her, you know.
Aye, maybe you're right. Laura sat in my bladder for weeks, the wee devil. What are you up to?
I thought I might take Ziad out for a bit.
Out?
See the sights and that.
The sights? You mean the golf club?
I could introduce him to some of the lads.
Oh, like they'd ken what to say to him. You just want a pint and he'll no drink.
Will he know?
Against the religion, innit?
Or I could take a walk down by the burn. What's left here. I haven't been down there since we lost Shepherd. He loves splashing about in that wee burn. It's practically dried up now.
You miss the wee fella, don't you? I suppose we all need somebody to walk with.
Aye. Even these refugee folk. See, Ziad, we had this border collie. Shepherd was his name. He was out chasing sticks. I'd throw, he'd fetch. Danced about like a dervish, grinning like he was bringing me a prize.
Miriam came home with a dog many years ago. He was black and sleek, with a broken leg. She nursed him back to health, and they remained together for many years, like a brother and sister. And it sang.
Sang.
Miriam used to play this wooden flute, and he would sing, that dog. He slept at her feet every night, smiling.
Aye, it's a true friend, is a dog. And aye, they do smile.
الكلب أفضل صديق للإنسان.
What?
Dog is man's best friend.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm sorry Agnes has been so prickly with you.
Oh, it's nothing.
See, she likes things a certain way, ken what I mean? Like here in the kitchen. She was out baking. Now she doesn't ken whether she's coming or going. Flies off in a temper at the slightest thing.
Please forgive us if we made this happen.
I try to keep her happy, but it's hard for her. Seeing you and Marianne, she wonders where everything went wrong.
What do you mean?
Well, with Agnes and Laura, things were never easy.
Your daughter.
Aye, exactly.
Before the next storm appears out of nowhere, deepens rapidly, and this one, the emphasis is on disruptive, damaging, even dangerous wind speeds are possible.
A vegetable garden? You already spend half your life weeding that peace garden. The council must thank God for the day you walked in.
A garden here, Aggie, next to our shed.
Oh, I don't want to hear another word about that bloody shed.
Growing food, good food. Tatties, rhubarb.
Thought you hated rhubarb.
The doctor was telling me
Oh, the
that...
doctor knew, is it? And the doctor kens everything about vegetables, does he?
Why are you so upset, Aggie?
This is our hame, our garden, no a bloody farmer's market.
According to Dr. Ziad...
You say one mere word and I will swing for you. Oh, sorry, Hen. I thought you were out. I'll leave you to it.
Hen.
It's a way of talking to a girl, you know, an endearment. It must be strange for you, all this.
Strange. And cold.
Aye, well, that's Scotland for you. Mind you'll feel the cold badly. I'm no a great one for the heat.
You'd hate my country then.
Hot, is it?
And getting hotter. Nothing grows. The rivers are dry. Not like here.
Well, rain is one thing. Scotland has plenty of. Mind you, our climate's changing and all. We've never had winds like we've had recently. And I hear on the radio that the reservoirs are low. Water shortages in Scotland. It's crazy, eh? Everything gone all right, is it?
I hope so. I have an appointment next week.
You'll be fine. Mind you, it's always a worry the first time.
But it's not.
What?
It's not my first time.
You have another child.
She was so good. So calm. 6 months old and then a fever. An hour late. We couldn't get medicines.
Could you no afford to?
No, we had money. Baba tried. We tried everywhere. We would have given anything. It was the sanctions.
Sanction?
International sanctions. Your country, the West, they say there is corruption. We will put a stop to it. We will not supply this country. And so they stopped sending us anything.
She died. Your wee girl.
We watched her fade away. It destroyed my husband. A proud, strong man. Broken.
But not to let people hae medicines.
Collateral damage, don't they call it? The price people pay for the actions of your government.
But we're no responsible for the government, me and Danny.
Oh no, Agnes. It's never people like you, is it? You take absolutely no responsibility. You just sit back and blame the authorities far away, making decisions with the stroke of a pen.
Oh, come on now, Hen, that is hardly fair. Look, Miriam, I know that you're upset.
Upset? Of course I'm upset. I'm pregnant, frightened, in a strange country where we are not welcome. You think I want to be here in your cold country without my husband? And my name is Mariam!
Mariam. Oh, why can't you keep your bloody mouth shut, woman? Every time I think we're getting somewhere, she pulls away. Laura was just the same. Maybe it's me.
A rare red warning has been issued for winds. Risk of 6.
Excuse me, Agnes, can I speak with you? I was wondering if I could ask a favour.
Yes?
It's about the baby. If it comes early, Mariam could be given birth in a few weeks' time, and it's not her first, you see.
I know, she told me.
But the point is, she's going to be on her own, and in our culture, the mother is usually there at the birth, but this is not possible for Mariam. I lost my wife 2 years ago. It wouldn't be right for me to be there. So I was wondering if you'd be willing to do it.
Oh. Has Mariam asked for this? No, I'm sorry, Ziad. I wouldn't be able to
I'm
do
so
that.
sorry, I shouldn't have asked you.
No,
Embarrassed
it's
you.
not. No, it's
You
not.
and Mariam are still not
No,
getting on
it's
well.
no that. It's just I can't stand hospitals, especially maternity wards. Things were no right after my daughter was born. I was very unhappy. I'm sorry.
I'm sad to hear that.
Well, things have changed since then. I'm sure your daughter will be well looked after.
I hope so.
There'll be the midwife and the nurses and there to hold her hand. And well, she's been doing all the exercises. She kens what to expect.
Yes, I mean, you're right. I shouldn't worry so much. I mean,
I'll be happy to help after the baby's born.
well, that's very kind. And I hope she won't keep you and Denny up at night.
She? Another wee girl?
Yes, I'm sorry, I wasn't supposed to tell.
Oh, don't worry, I'll no spill the beans.
Spill?
Spill the beans. It's an expression. It means I won't tell anyone.
Oh, thanks.
It's a while since we had a baby in the house. I'm sure we'll get used to it.
I hope so. I mean, soon we'll be leaving and you'll have peace and you'll laugh again.
Well, that can wait till after the birth.
Mariam is hoping to get work as soon as things have settled down.
And what about you?
I'm willing to try anything. It's hard to get jobs with so many of us here now.
I'm sure you'll find something. I could help with the bairn whilst you're here.
Oh.
I keep hoping that my daughter will give us grandchildren, but there's no much sign of yet. Maybe I could get some practice in the meantime.
That's very kind of you. You know, I think the world would collapse without older people caring for the children so the younger ones can work.
You're right, but it's not just childminding. We get to be unpaid carers too.
Yes.
There's plenty of us volunteering in local charity shops and hospitals and other places. We didn't get much publicity.
No, but you're still vital all the same.
We should start a campaign to get ourselves noticed a bit more. Banners saying, "Oldies of the world unite. You have nothing to lose but your pension rights."
Make me laugh. It's good to see you laugh like this.
I know. Look, I'm sorry I can't be there when the baby's born.
Don't worry about it. I'm sure she'll be fine. As long as the baby doesn't end up looking like me.
Oh.
I remember when she used to laugh with me like that. That's what she used to say. "You make me laugh, Danny boy." Then the years rolled by. Laura came along and bit by bit we stopped the laughter. You ken how it goes. For God's sake, Danny Mackay, what do you expect? Fireworks at your age. But seeing her there, her eyes alight with, I don't know what, just made me feel excluded like, in my own home. I'm no a jealous man, but Maybe 4 people's too many for this wee hoose.
Overnight, we issued a second red weather warning.
Bloody cheek. I don't know why we get this rag, the things that people write.
Like what?
Oh, someone's saying that they shouldn't send the refugees to people over 65.
Why? Because we're too old and stupid to cope?
No, because we might take advantage. Use them as unpaid carers.
Let me see that.
If it wasn't for us empty nesters, there wouldn't be places for these folk. We're the ones with the spare rooms now that the kids have gone.
True.
We've more to offer than younger people.
Older and wiser, eh?
Just because we're retired doesn't mean that we can't be useful. We're mere,
Tolerant?
aye, and patient.
Oh, aye, Aggie. You're famous for your patience. Until someone's hogging the bathroom. Nearly half an hour again today.
Oh, be fair, she is 8 months pregnant now.
Well, you've changed your tune. Good job we've got a downstairs loo, eh? I'm just pulling your leg. Only another month anyway, till the bairn's born.
Right.
And it's a whole new situation. Are we ready for this?
I don't really know, but I don't suppose it'll do us any harm.
It's going to take some getting used to. Especially if it cries half the night.
We'll manage. You kept during the day anyway.
You cry in the daytime too, remember?
Well, then you'll just have to head out for some peace and quiet, down to your precious burn.
We need to think about this, Agnes. We need to be ready.
Well, we didn't really have much choice, do we? Neither do they. It's all down to pen pushers and fancy offices who didn't have a clue about the real world.
What are you on about?
Nothing, just something that Mariam said.
Aye. Well, at least we're all getting on better now.
I reckon that we're doing brilliantly. And I'm looking forward to the bairn.
Me too, if I'm honest.
Could be a whole new lease of life for us, eh?
Life in the old dogs yet, eh?
Hey, who are you calling a dog?
Have you tried any of Ziad's hummus?
No yet.
It's lovely. Much better than that supermarket stuff. He said he'd show me how to make it.
Oh, great. And I can show him how to make a cluty dumpling.
Are you taking the piss?
You should never have asked her. Or at least warned me you were going to.
I was only trying to help.
I don't need your help. And I don't need that woman at the birth of my child.
That woman has given us a home and taken care of us. I don't understand you. I thought you were getting on better with Agnes and Danny.
She made it clear from the moment we arrived that she wanted to get rid of us as soon as possible. She complains about the time I spend in the bathroom, the smells from our cooking. You don't notice these things.
I only noticed their kindness and the help they offer that goes well beyond their obligation to us.
And now she insults me by refusing to be present at the birth of my child. Back home, any woman would consider it an honour to be asked.
Agnes feels unable to do that. We must respect that.
You're a fool, Father. She doesn't want us here any more than we want to be here. I saw it in her face the day we arrived. Coldness and contempt.
That's enough!
Oh, this is impossible. We can't even have a private conversation.
Please forgive this outburst, Danny. I'm sure she did not mean what she said.
It's a bit late for that now, isn't it? She's a grown woman. You can't go on apologising for her as if she were a child.
It's not easy for her, Danny. She's suffered more than you know, and it hasn't been easy for her to settle here.
It hasn't been easy for us either.
I know!
Oh, do you really? We've tried our best to be friendly and accommodating. You're not the only ones that feel displaced by this situation. And at our time of life, these are bigger changes than we're expected to make. Seeing you and Mariam reminds Agnes her own daughter doesn't want to know. And then to accuse her of being selfish for not wanting to attend the birth. Well, that's the last straw.
I think we should look for somewhere else to live, me and Mariam, after the baby's born.
I think that would be best for all of us.
Oh, you're up. You feeling better after your nap?
Yes, thank you. I seem to spend more and more time sleeping.
Make the most of it. Once the bairn comes, it'll just be a distant memory. It'll be, oh hi, sleep. I remember that. I'm sorry I can't be there when you hear your baby.
It was wrong of Baba to ask you.
I swear that wind is getting stronger. It's a good job the pair of them fixed the shed roof last week, eh? Did you hear the storm warning?
Warning.
Aye, telling folk not to go out.
But Bubba has gone into town.
When?
A couple of hours ago. He went in to see a doctor about work opportunities.
He shouldn't be out in this. I'll get Danny to run in and collect him. Danny?
Danny is out too. When I was lying down, I heard the front door slam and then the car.
Look at the trees. It's blowing a hula out there.
Why did Baba insist on going out on such a day?
Well, he's trying to support you, and he only wants the best for you.
You don't understand. Sometimes I can hardly bear to look at him.
But why? He's your father. He loves you very much.
I know it is wrong. He was doing his best to protect us, but he led us into danger, not out of it, and Amir always listened to him.
Amir? Your husband?
I should honour his memory for his loyalty, his devotion, his respect for Baba. But men are not always right.
What happened to him?
We should have stayed. I begged, pleaded with Amir to wait just a little longer, but he wouldn't listen to me. We were standing on the platform, waiting for the train that would take us to freedom. The press of all the bodies, the children's cries. Mama, I'm hungry. Mama, I need water. Soon, the mothers were saying. The train will come. There will be food. There will be water. Then we heard it. The rattle of the tracks, and everyone began pushing. Shouts, screams, and Amir at the front pulling me forward through the angry bodies, our hands clasped, wet with fear. A sudden rush, the crowd behind fighting to reach the train. I stumbled. My hand slipped from his. And then his cry. It's harder and harder for me to recall his face. Without my phone, I have no pictures. My husband. My baby. Gone.
I'm so sorry, Hen.
I cannot talk to Baba about this. All this anger inside, like a poison. Sometimes in the night I think it was just a dream. A bad dream. Except for this.
We got off on the wrong foot. My bark is far worse than my bite, sweetheart. Sometimes my words come out too sharp. The truth is, my heart went out to you when I saw you standing on that mat in your stocking feet. You looked that cold and exhausted. And then I said, she's expecting. Oh, Danny knew. Danny Mackay, I'll hear your guts for garters. Hold on. Everything is going to be all right, Hen. Hold on to my hand. I promise. Baba.
It's relentless, one winter storm after another blasting the landscape. Millions of trees have been brought down.
Uncle Omar?
Do you remember him?
Barely. I was a child when he left, but to find him here, now. How did you do it?
Social media. Sometimes the modern world is a miracle. So vast, yet so small.
Are you sure he won't mind about the baby?
Miriam, he's family. He's offering us a home, and that's all you need to know. Have you heard something?
Laura finally got through.
Oh,
The networks were doing for hours.
Is she safe?
Hen, thank God. She was crying. She never cries.
is it very bad in London?
Indescribable, she said. The speed that everything happened, Everything's underwater. The bridges and roads swept away. So many dead and missing.
She should come home to her family.
She can't travel, Hen, no, the new. There's no trains. And the roads are packed with people fleeing. Oh, God, she's alive. I can't tell you the relief. It's the no knowing that kills you.
Sometimes knowing is worse.
Hen, I know, I'm sorry. God, you're a stupid woman.
It's all right, Agnes. It'll be okay.
I just didn't think it could happen here. It's a terrible thing to admit, but we didn't think it was our problem. We could just turn a blind eye and leave somebody else to cope with it. But the world's not like that now, is it?
Have you told Danny about Laura?
Aye. Just now, but I wanted to tell you, Tay.
Where is he?
Oh, he's outside in the garden, fixing that blessed shed or what's left of it, as if there wasn't more important things to think about.
Sometimes we have to focus on the small things to keep from being overwhelmed.
You're right. The baby coming early was a blessing in disguise. I was that caught up in the excitement. I was that caught up in the excitement. I was too really time to be scared.
I owe Danny my life. He found me in the storm and brought me home.
Aye. And you just got on with it, Hen, storm or no storm.
It'll take more than a storm to break me.
Oh, that's the spirit.
We're so relieved to hear that Laura's safe. The agony when your child isn't there and all you want to do is to hold them.
What's the damage?
The shed's the right half. The men with the crane are here. They'll start moving that tree any time now.
And then we can, what do you say, get it out of your hair?
Please, see, there's no rush.
Are you too kind, Agnes? But my cousin Omar is a good man. He has room and I'll have work to do. So,
Well, you're like Danny, you need to be busy. And
yeah.
It'll be good to be with your relatives.
Yeah.
Family's important, we forget that sometimes.
We'd better finish packing. And the baby will need feeding.
Come on, Danny. Just a shed. We'll get a new one, eh?
It's not a shed, Aggie. I failed you.
How?
I wasn't there when you needed me.
Well, you had to stay safe. You were safest in the car.
I was paralysed by that storm, trapped behind the windscreen. I couldn't move or speak or even see straight. Ziad was talking to me, trying to keep me calm, but I barely heard him. Took me right back to being a kid, 8 or 9 years old. Batten down the hatches, they said. You're in for the worst storm of your life. My parents locked the doors. They neared try and get out, gain half a chance. We watched the news. Saw a wee seaside town smashed to smithereens by the waves. The house shook. The old apple tree crashed and split. When it was over, my mother unlocked the door. I raced across the garden, tore open the cage, but my guinea pig wasn't moving. Its fur all stiff and matted. My brother kept saying, "Stop blubbering, you big Ben. We can eat it."
Danny.
I kept thinking, she'll be safe with Aggie.
Listen, Danny Mackay. You have never let me down in 40 years.
Got everything? Tickets?
Safe and sound.
Sandwiches?
Agnes.
Do you want a flask of coffee for the journey?
It's only an hour.
Aye, but these trains are always late and there's never anything to eat in the buffet. Mariam, did you mind the wee one's baby grow?
Yes, I remembered. Agnes, you've been like a mother.
She's asleep. You wouldn't wake her, will you?
Give the girl her bairn, will you? We'll see them soon enough, won't we?
Of course, you're our family now. Agnes, Danny, you've been so kind.
Hey, nay speeches.
Please, I must say this. I'm a proud man. It was very hard to find myself powerless, unable to protect my family. Sometimes clouds of despair and darkness overwhelmed me. Please forgive me if I ever offended you.
No. I think the book was on the other foot. It was...
Agnes, listen to Baba. He's right. When we arrived, we were angry, frightened and cold.
You were perished right enough.
But we did not perish. Thanks to you, we learned to hope again, to imagine a future.
A year ago, all this was unimaginable. To think you'd be forced to flee, leave all those you love behind. It's forgive me.
Hey, Pa. It's been an honour.
The honour is ours, Danny. You saved my life, and Agnes brought my grandchild into the world. We will never forget you.
But you best be off if you're going to catch that train. Oh, that'll be the taxi. Do you want me to take her to the car? Can you manage?
I have her, Agnes. But you'll visit soon.
Oh, you try keeping me away.
Come, little one. Say farewell to Jada.
What's that?
Jada. Grandmother.
She's no a great one for goodbyes, I'm afraid.
She's a fine woman, Danny. With a good heart. You must be very proud.
That's them away. Oh, you daft thing. What's that?
Oh, it's that letter from the authorities. I thought I might get in touch and see if they needed to find a home for other folk. I mean, we've got the room.
Aye, hen. We've got the room. What's that on the back?
Oh, I can't read my own writing. Oh, it's Zihad's recipe for hummus. Funny, I wouldn't have been at Hoosroom before garlic and chickpeas, but now I'm addicted.
Like me with Marmite.
Oh, you can keep your Marmite nasty stuff.
Do you fancy a wee walk in by the burn?
I just have to make a wee call. Laura? Laura hen. It's Mum.
The world is changing. And if we do not change with it, adapt, what will become of us? When one changes, all change. Like wind from the east, the edge of a knife, the silent blade that slices the sky. I never intended to change. But here, new creatures in a new country, we see new stars in an old sky. We are different now. All is different, like a smile. A smile is never twice the same. My daughter and I will make a new life here, steering by a new star. Will you join us? Shall we build a new world together?